Hi, everyone. I'm responding to Pittsburgh DJ Marty's video, Little Things I Like About Not Being a Jehovah's Witness. I think that was the title. I like it so much I want to turn it into a tag. So anybody that's watching and would like to jump in, I would love to hear some of the little things that you like about not being a Jehovah's Witness. One for me is learning. I'm in this learning jag. I can't seem to take in enough information fast enough. I'm learning about science and history and nature and the world, and it's fascinating. And the biggest thing that I'm noticing is how much more awe-inspiring it all is when I have removed that Watchtower block. I no longer have to block the information because it contradicts the Watchtower. I no longer have to block the information um, because it tramples on, something that it's not supposed to. The blocks are out of the way. I'm looking at the evidence, and I look at everything in a whole new light. It's like things have been peeled from my eyes and I can see for the first time, and it's amazing. Um, and in that sense, too, I also look at the world differently. I used to see it as doom and gloom, and we've never been in a worse state, and everything's horrible, and, the end's got to come soon kind of thing. It's just getting worse and worse. And I don't see it that way anymore. I see this this amazing planet of people going through changes, and there's some good and there's some bad, but it's not all doom and gloom. There's been a lot of good, and there are a lot of good people and a lot of good things happening. And just being able to step back and look at everything in a different light and assess all of the information completely rather than in this little tunnel vision that I used to have is pretty amazing. And it's fun. I can't I'm just I'm enjoying myself so much I can't even stand it. It's not that life is all roses and all that, because I'm still struggling with a few things of letting go of my past. But it's just amazing to step back and look at things. And like he said, having friends. I have friends from all walks of life. Like he said, gay, straight, crazy, um, absolutely hysterical, very religious, etc. All walks of life. And I don't have to be so guarded with them. Like one of my friends, I've talked about it on the boards, he's huge into the ancient aliens. He has been since the 70s. He's traveled around the world to follow up on all these little things that he hears about. He's writing his own book on the subject. And when I first woke up to the Watchtower, that's when he started talking to me about this stuff. And I have to tell you, it was very compelling and very interesting. And meanwhile, I'm learning about logical fallacies and critical thinking. And as time went on, his arguments started to fall apart for me. And we get into some of the most heated discussions. People that are listening to us think we're absolutely out of our minds because we really go at it. And it doesn't affect our friendship. We both agree that we don't agree with each other on this subject, and this is why. I explain why I don't agree with him on this, and he shows me why he can't not believe it. And it's back and forth, and it doesn't affect our friendship at all. And I love that. And even a year ago, or 2 years ago, I would not have been able to have that kind of a conversation with him. I would have just been, okay, I'll just keep quiet. Oh, that's interesting. I would have never spoken up out of fear of, I was always in that guarded attitude. And so much of that is gone. And I just love being able to do that. And you cannot do that as a Jehovah's Witness. If you have a disagreement on something with a witness and you really go at it, first of all, you wouldn't really go at it, because there was actually, I was just reading in a Jehovah's Witness group, and it's mostly Jehovah's Witnesses. There are some ex-witnesses, but it is mostly Jehovah's Witnesses there. And this guy was talking about science and how he views the world. And somebody replied, "This guy is suspect. Jehovah's Witnesses don't talk that way." And that's exactly the mentality of the Jehovah's Witnesses. We could not challenge anything. We couldn't have real discussions. We couldn't, because you became suspect if you didn't speak and think the programmed way. And being able to express a point of view that I have, even though it's in direct opposition to a belief or opinion that a friend of mine has, and that we can discuss it and really rip it to shreds and still walk away going, "See you next week." I, I cannot tell you how much I cherish that. It is so enjoyable to me. As you can see, it just excites me to no end. Um, and seeing my thinking abilities waking up. I was watching a documentary the other day, and my little alarm started going off, and I was like, "Well, wait a minute, that's the God of the Gaps logical fallacy. Basically, I don't know, so it has to be this." And it had nothing to do with God. It wasn't a religious documentary or anything, but it was these little logical fallacies started jumping out at me, and I'm going, "Wait a minute, this doesn't sound right. It's interesting, but something's wrong here." And so I decided to stop watching it and do some research. I found out that none of the doctors listed in the documentary existed. They were not real. The organization that they were claiming to be working for had a big statement going, "That's not us. We have nothing to do with that." And I ended up finding it on IMDb listed as a mockumentary. So it was just one of those little, it's working. My brain is waking up. I'm starting to pay attention, and I can see. And then I went back and watched the rest of the documentary as entertainment rather than they're trying to tell me something. This is just kind of fun. And but it was really exciting that I was able to process that, and it turned out that I was correct. And that thrills me as well, because it does tell me that all this research and all this learning that I've been trying to do is starting to pay off. Things are starting to happen. And so, yeah, it's having freedom of an opinion, seeing the world as it really is, having friends that, they're so varied. I just love the variety in my friends. They're so varied that I don't think I could put everybody in a group together and have everybody get along. But for me, in my life, I love that. And being able to think and seeing the signs that my thinking is waking up. And then the big one, fear is gone. The fear is so gone. I don't fear Armageddon. I don't fear, judgment. I don't fear the men in Brooklyn. I just, it's not like a crazy lock me in the loony bin kind of not fearing. I realize driving is dangerous. I realize that there are, most people are good, but there are bad people. So it's not like I live in this cloud of nothing can touch me. But I don't live in those big created fears that were manufactured and planted in my brain from an early age and constantly. All those fears are gone, and that's awesome. That's awesome. I've mentioned in a video before that I used to be absolutely terrified of thunderstorms, always expecting that was the beginning of Armageddon. And I love thunderstorms. They're probably my favorite thing now because there's just no fear attached to them. They're an act of nature. I understand what's happening, and it's awesome. I just absolutely find it awesome. So yeah, getting rid of the fear. And I'm rambling. I just was so excited by that video. I just had to jump on and start talking. So I'm going to tag everybody else. Little things that you love about not being a Jehovah's Witness, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Oh, one more thing. I forgot my favorite thing is being able to put my favorite color in my hair. Talk to you later. Bye.